Good day everyone, this is Christina and today we are going to be doing the installation and configuration of DNS server. Now before we get started, one thing I would like to say in advance is that with your Windows Server 2008, you should configure that server with a static IP address to make sure that your client can access them, and you should avoid having your DNS server given its IP address and configuration information dynamically through DHCP, because this is one of the servers they just want to have it statically configured with IP, right? So to get started, you need to install your DNS. And how do we install our DNS? So you can go to Start and go to Server Manager, and we're going to Roles. It should be here also, right? So I already have DNS server installed when I install my Active Directories. So I won't be installing it over again, but I will show you how you can install it if it was not installed. So you go to Add Roles, you go to Next, right? And because my DNS server was installed, it actually sees it grayed out. But if yours isn't installed, it would not be grayed out and it will be checkable. So you would check the DNS server, click Next, and install, and that's basically it for the installation part. Yes, I would like to leave those wizard. Okay, so it's simple as that, as to add role, choose a DNS server. But in choosing DNS server, the main thing I had to do is that I had to say what namespace is this DNS server is going to be authoritative for. So if we go to roles and we go to DNS server, we expand DNS server, and we expand DNS, and we expand this server 2008, and let me just open this. Oops. Right, and we expand forward lookup zone. This MSDCS, this is generated internally by Windows Server. So upon installation, these folders are automatically created, right? And this server here will be the authoritative server, where the server will be authoritative for this ck.com here. This is my internal namespace, right? And if we expand it, all these elements here, these are the elements that makes up the domain namespace database for this namespace, right? So my namespace is ck.com, right? Okay, so reserve. So as you can see, we are presented with forward lookup zone and reserve lookup zone, right? Now, reserve lookup zone is opposite to a forward lookup zone. For example, if you give someone a domain name and they will give you, or they will get an IP address for you for that domain. For example, I want to get to the web server www.google.com. I have the domain name, but I don't have the underlying IP address. Now, reserve lookup is opposite and typically, and is used in applications that have the IP but do not have the domain name. So that is the difference between the forward lookup zone and the reverse lookup zone. Sorry. Okay, so to create a forward lookup zone, what you can do now is already created. You can right click and go to new zone, and this wizard will pop up. So you go next and you choose primary zone, right? This is the type of zone you want to create. We want to create a primary zone. We go to next. Now, how do you want your zone data to be replicated? to all DNS servers in this domain, right? We want it to need domain, and we give it the zone name. So my zone name is your domain name, so it's ck.com. Okay, and we go next. And for this, we want to allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates. And we press next. And this is basically a summary of everything. Your lookup type, your type Active Directory, integrate your primary, your name, and you click finish. But it's already created, so you wouldn't have to create this again. So you click cancel. In your reserve lookup zone now, same procedure, you right click, new zone. Next, it's almost the same, but there's like one step difference. So yes, primary again. Yes, all DNS servers in this domain replicated data, yeah. We want to use IP version 4 reserve lookup zone. Now here you can see we are prompted for network ID. Okay, but we have to enter our IP address, but we are only presented 1, 2, 3 octets, right? So you're going to put in your first 3 octets of your IP address. And press next. Again, allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates, and next, and finish. So as you can see here, if we expand, so having done that, sorry, we are now going to create a host. Now a host is a resource record, RR. There are several types of record that represent different types of resources, right? A host or a host is one of the most frequently used records, and it just has a host name and an IP address. So like all your laptops and workstation, network printers, all those hosts that makes up your network, you can actually add them to this. So what we are going to do, we are going to add a host. To add a host, we go to forward lookup zone. We'll open. We don't need to. Okay, we will right click and we go new host or new a host, right? And we come here and we will give this host a name. So I don't know, I'll call it server. Okay, and we need to give it an IP address. So 192.168.0.11, and I'm going to create an associated pointer record, and we will go add host. So this host record ck.server.ck.com was successfully created. Okay, and done. So as you can see, the host here was created. Now if you go in the reserve lookup, here you can see the pointer record that we just created, this file here. So essentially what we did is now we link the pointer record to the host. Now also what we can do is that we can create a host for one of our clients. So let's log in to our XP machine. So our IP is 192.168.0.7, right? So it's .7. So we will go now back to our server and back and we're going to create a new host. When XP, and the IP address was 192.168.0.7, right? But we will not be creating a pointer record here. We're going to manually create this pointer record. Okay, and we add host. Press OK and done. So as you can see here, that when XP was created. So if you go into reverse lookup, and we right click, and we go new, we right click and we go to new pointer record. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's 192.168.0.7, and the host name, we will browse, open the server, forward lookup, open our domain name here, and we are going to look for that record we just created, that host. This is it here, WinXP. And we press OK and OK. So as you can see, we just manually created the pointer record for our WinXP machine. Great. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to create a CNAME. So you go to forward lookup, we right click on our CK, and we'll go new alias or CNAME. And what we're putting here is www. So if you want to make this server our web server, we can create the CNAME, right? And this www here will point it back to our server. So if we search www.ck.com, it will resolve back to this folder. So we browse, we go to the server, forward lookup, CK, and we're going to look for that first source that we created, server, this one, and we press OK. And we go OK. As you can see here, the alias name was created. Okay? Okay, so let's see how this works now. So if you go back to one of our clients machine, our server machine, XE machine, and we type in and we open our command prompt here, and we ping our server. So we will ping 192.168.0.1. We should get a response. Okay, there we go. So we did get a response, but most times we don't remember the number of the machine. We will remember the name of the machine. We will remember the IP address for that machine. Right, so as you can see, if we ping the name, it also works. You notice here the name was resolved to our IP address using our DNS server. Afterwards, we should ping the IP address. So let's ping our next machine on the network and see if it works. Right, so as you can see, TimPC has an IP address of 22. So as you can see, the DNS server was able to associate TIM-PC with the IP address 21, 192.168.0.21, and was able to ping that address. One of the ways to resolve issues with DNS is using the NSLookup. So if you right click on the server here and we go launch NSLookup and we type in www, as you can see it resolved the name for that is www is the alias that we gave to one of the hosts, right? So as you can see, the name, the server that came up, the address that are associated with that, and the alias. So if we put in Tim PC, again the name came up and the IP address associated with that with Tim PC. If we put in WinXP, again WinXP came up and the IP address associated with WinXP. What was the other one we created? Server, right? So the name came up and the address we associated server. Remember we created server and gave it the IP address of 11, so that came up. So this is the NSLookup. And that was our tutorial today for DNS installation and configuration. Hope it was helpful, useful, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.